Hello everyone! In today's module, we're going to deal with writing, and more exactly, a descriptive paragraph, a letter of application, and a report. For each of them, we're going to say what they are, how to write them, the structure, and give an example for each of them. The first one is a descriptive paragraph. A descriptive paragraph describes a thing, a person, or a place. Detailed information allows the reader to form an image in his or in her imagination. The better the description, the clearer the image. Second thing you should know about a descriptive paragraph is that to write a descriptive paragraph, you must study your topic closely, make a list of the details you observe, and organize the details into a logical structure. How to write a descriptive paragraph? There are three things that you should bear in mind when you write a descriptive paragraph. First one, after you have been given the topic, select the details. Focus on what does the object look like, sound, smell, taste, and feel like. What are your own memories or associations with the object? Second thing, organize your information. A topic sentence that identifies the topic and briefly explains its significance. Then, move on with the supporting sentences that describe the topic in specific, vivid ways using the details you've listed during brainstorming. A concluding sentence that circles back to the topic's significance is the last thing you should do when you write a descriptive paragraph. Please bear in mind and remember that you must show and not tell. The reader cannot feel or sense the strength of your description. So that means that you should show this thing. Here is an example of a descriptive paragraph. Let's read that together. Lake Harriet is a great place to swim and relax. In the summer, the water is warm and clean, and the beaches attract people seeking relief from a midsummer scorcher. In addition to swimming, visitors to the lake can go canoeing, sailing, windsurfing, or fishing. The blue water is a refreshing, tempting sight. The sweet scent of the sun wafts through the air from some bathers lying on the beach. Children laugh and splash in the water, and nearby volleyball games stir passionate shouts in the heat of competition. Meanwhile, lifeguards sit atop their towers and make sure everyone is safe. In the distance, sailboats catch the soft breezes that ripple Lake Harriet's surface, and canoeists glide quietly past. This is what summer is all about. So this was the example of the descriptive paragraph. The second thing we're going to deal with is a letter of application. Sooner or later, you all will have to deal with it. So first of all, let's explain what a letter of application is. It is a kind of document you submit to a potential employer to express your interest in a vacancy position. The job application letter explains who you are as a professional and as an individual. The letter should highlight your achievement and skills, helping to get the attention of your future employer. This letter explains to the reader why they should ask you in for an interview and highlights the key qualifications that make you fit for that role. Now, how to write a letter of application? We have some steps, and you have to bear in mind some things about that. The first step is to target your audience, and don't forget that. Spend some time researching who the actual decision maker is, and address your cover letter to that individual person. It will have a much greater impact, and definitely you will get noticed. The second step is the opening remarks and reasons for writing. So include a formal greeting and explain the aim. So why you're writing the letter, where you saw the job advertisement, etc. The third step is the content of the letter of application. In this step, there are two things that you should bear in mind. The first one is that you should include some brief information about yourself, which means the age, what you're doing now, the qualifications, etc. In the second paragraph of the body, you should write what makes you suitable for the job. Please be specific and include examples from your past experience that would be important for the new role. The last step, you should ask for an interview. Be sure to state that you'd like an interview, when you'd be available for it, and include, please, detailed contacts and the closing remark. Bear in mind and remember that an application letter is a formal letter, and as such, it requires a formal language to be used in it. Here is the example of a letter of application. Let's read that together. So, the first one is the remark. Dear Mr. Harold, or dear Sir or Madam, in case you know the person, or at least you know the name, you write it. In case you do not, it's enough if you write just dear Sir or Madam. I'm writing to apply for the position of group leader in your camp, which I saw advertised in the local newspaper. I am 19 years old and I'm currently studying economics at York University. I consider myself to be fluent in French and I also have a first aid certificate. I think I would be a very good group leader at your camp. I have a lot of experience working with children, as I have been babysitting my neighbor's children since I was 15 years old. Furthermore, last year I worked as a lifeguard at the children's pool. I am a responsible, reliable, and punctual person. I am available for an interview any weekday afternoon. My telephone number is 210-454-7425. Yours sincerely or faithfully, Lisa Bentley. Now, next thing we're going to deal with is the report. First of all, essentially, a report is a short, sharp, and concise document which is written for a particular purpose and an audience. It generally sets out and analyzes a situation or a problem, often making recommendations for future action. It is a factual paper and needs to be clear and well structured. How to write a report. Now, when writing a report, keep in mind these things. First of all, what is the aim of the report? Which means, will you make suggestions, will you assert, or what? Second thing, who is the report for? So who is the target of that? Is it teenagers, local government, school director, etc.? And the last one, what style should you use? Of course, it is a formal one. The second thing is about structure. A report contains the introduction, and in the introduction you have the first paragraph dealing with the state purpose and content of the report, the main body, which may include 2, 3, or even 4 paragraphs, and where you should present your suggestions and suggesting point in separate paragraph under appropriate headings, and the last one is the conclusion, which means the 5th paragraph, which summarizes the suggestions or makes a general assessment and gives also recommendations. Here is the example of how a report should be. So, the aim of this report is to give suggestions on how Milton Culture Club can be made more popular with teenagers. In the first place, I feel that we need to make more teenagers aware of the club. One suggestion would be to hang up posters in local secondary schools. This way, teenagers would find out about the club and may consider joining. Secondly, I believe that the hours the club is open on weekdays from 5 to 8 p.m. are not suitable for most teenagers, particularly those who do after-school activities. Despite the fact that it would involve volunteers working long hours, I strongly recommend that the club should remain open until 10 p.m. on weekdays. By doing this, we would give teenagers the opportunity to come to the club. Finally, in my opinion, we need to organize more fun activities for club members. For instance, it would be a good idea to organize regular day trips to places of cultural interest in the area. As a result, more teenagers would be attracted to the club and get more enjoyment out of the club where they enjoy. To sum up, by advertising, increasing opening hours, and organizing more activities, we can make Milton Culture Club more popular with local teenagers. This was all we had prepared for you today. Thank you all for your attention.